Okay, guys, we're going to talk about tax tip and discount, which is basically another type of percent proportion that we've been kind of working with lately. But um, this is something that you'll use in real life. Most of the time, you'll have a calculator with you, and there's just different things, but I'm going to explain what they are and how we use them in the real world. So we're just going to start out with a couple of things. Everybody's seen a receipt. You have some keywords on a receipt that are very important to you. You've got a subtotal, which a subtotal is an amount that is just added up for you. So you go to Walmart, you scan your items, and it was $1. That's your subtotal. Then you've got your tax based on what the tax rate is in whatever city or town you live in. So I've got a couple of examples of some different receipts right here. You pay taxes on several different things in life. So what is sales tax? Sales tax is a char is chargeable on any product purchased or retail online. This is very blurry, and rates vary by state by state. Some states don't even have a sales tax. We went up to New Hampshire a couple of years ago, and New Hampshire does not have a sales tax. So where do they get their money for their roads? Where do they get their money for the different things that they use? We'll talk about that a little bit too. This is just something interesting that I pulled up. There was recently a public hearing on a tax increase here in Lake Dallas, moving from 0.642 to uh, per hundred, and then to 0.65. And if you can see at the bottom down here, you've got the property tax. This is all based on your house and stuff here in Lake Dallas. Property tax amount equals your tax rate. So you got your rate, tax rate, and um, equals your value of your property. So it's the total value of your property divided by 100. So when you look at this, it's just like a proportion. So you've got a percent. You can figure out whatever the rate is, and the rate is actually over here. Sorry, tax rate is multiplied by the value of your property, and then it's divided by 100. So it's the bat and ball that we've been doing. You can figure out how much your rate is, how much you're going to be paying on your home going forward. This is the breakdown here in Lake Dallas. The state requires a 6.25% sales tax. That's across the board, across the entire state. And that money is used for the highways and roads and things that are not within the city limits of things. It's also helps pay for salaries and stuff for state employees and what have you. In Lake Dallas takes 2% of the sales tax. So whenever you purchase an item at Walmart or wherever you purchase your items at, that 2% goes back to Lake Dallas. So you're paying 8.25%, but only Lake Dallas only gets 2%. And that money is used to pay city workers. That money is used to pay for roads. That money is used to pay for everything that you see within the city, to help keep parks updated, to keep trash cans out, to all kinds of different things. We've kind of gotten into a day and age now where the receipts actually do some of the calculations for you, and you don't have to. But you could go back and figure out the tax rate. And I wanted to talk a little bit about tipping and why it's important to whether or not you get good service or you don't get good service. You want to make sure that you're doing what's right as an individual. And the reason for that is because the Texas minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. You can notice that this says February of 2015. Well, it is still the same today. Um, And I was going to show you guys that it is still the same today. Sales tax in Texas, Texas state minimum wage for 2020 is $7.25 per hour. It's the same as the current federal minimum wage rate. So everywhere in the United States, the minimum wage, and wage is the amount of money that you make per hour. And that's calculated on a 40 hours a week calculation. And it's applied to most employees. However, there are some exceptions. People that are tipped, people that, if you're under 20 years old, there's a $4.25 for the first 90 days. There's a student minimum wage rule. There's a tipped minimum wage rule. There's all kinds of things. Now, is everything taxed? No, not everything is taxed. Some food and some necessities are not taxed. So you've got some items that are not taxed, and this didn't open up in the PDF like it said it was going to. So anyway, some things are not taxed. Here's why it's important for you to think about whenever you are at a restaurant and you are tipping an employee. So Texas allows employers to take a tip credit. So employers must pay tipped employees at least $2.13 an hour. So if an employee doesn't earn enough in tips to bring his or her total compensation to at least the full state minimum wage, which was 7.25, the employer must make up the difference. So when you go to Sonic, and I'll give Sonic as an example, the individuals at Sonic, they make $2.13 an hour. So when they receive their paycheck, that's what it's based off of, $2.13 an hour. So your tips are kind of important to those people. Some restaurants actually pay a minimum wage and don't allow the tips to go to the employees. Some places collect the tips. There's so many different things that are done with the tips, but it's very important that you know the background behind why we have tips and why you should tip your employer, your servers and servicemen and whoever is coming to your locate, to whoever you are going to buy your dinner and stuff with. All right, let's go ahead and jump into a couple of questions here. All right, so this is what you're going to see, and this is how you're going to calculate this. So the Roberts family had dinner at Chuy's. The bill was $45.95. If they want to leave a 20% tip for the waitress, how much will the tip be? Well, now before I get into this, let's talk about percent proportion. We've had percent proportion where you've set up one side over here, and you've got your percent and your 100 over here, and you've got is over of, you've got part over whole, you've got tax, you've got tip, you've got discount, you've got markup, you've got markdown, which is basically clearance. So all of this is your part of whatever you are working with. So if you're buying something at a grocery store, if you're eating somewhere, all of that is part of that. And so that is what I was talking about the other day, where this top part becomes various different things. So today we're going to be working with, this question refers to tip. So the family had a dinner at Chuy's. The bill was $45.95. So that is your total. We're going to go ahead and set up our proportion because we know we're going to need a proportion. Their total bill was $45.95. That was before anything. They want to leave a 20% tip. So you are looking for the tip. So all you're doing is setting up another proportion. And so you've got $45.95 times 20 divided by 100, and you get $9.19. And it says round to the nearest dollar. So the nearest dollar would be $9, because when you look to the right, this number right here, your whole number is 9. The number after it is behind the decimal, and it's 5 or more, add 1 more, 4 or less, let it rest. So it is 4 or less, so we're going to let it rest. So the tip that we're actually going to leave, we're going to leave them a little less than 20%, because we're wanting to round to the nearest dollar. So what will the cost of the bill, and what will be the cost of the bill with the tip? That should say with the tip. So the bill was $45.95. That's called your subtotal. And we're going to add $9. And we're going to get $54.95. And that's how much that you're going to pay. I would refer back to this video whenever you're working your problems. Jack went bowling with his friends. It cost them $58 to bowl 4 games and to rent shoes. Since they finished before 6 p.m., they got a discount of 25%. What was their final cost? So we're looking for a final cost, and then round it to the nearest hundredths if needed. So it doesn't, they went bowling with his friends. It cost them $58 to bowl 4 games. We don't really care about that. We just care about the fact that their bill was $58. If they got a discount of 25%, well, there's your percent. The word discount means to subtract. But we're still going to solve this the same way. So you still cross multiply. So $58 times 25% divided by 100. This is how much of the discount we're getting. And when you do that calculation, when you multiply those two and you divide by 100, you get $14.50. So now it's saying, what is their final cost? Well, discount means to subtract. So now it's just basic math. Since we finished early, we get a discount of $14.50. And whenever we subtract that out, we actually end up paying $43.50. So now you're starting to have to look at vocabulary and make sure that you understand that discount means to subtract, and figure out some of the information that you're getting that you don't need at all, but you're still setting up a proportion. And now we've used this word discount here instead of tax or is or part or of. It all means the same thing. All right, last thing, this table shows items that Julie purchased at Albertsons. Complete her sales receipt. Round to the hundredths if needed. Remember, money is always in hundredths. That's what I've been telling you guys over and over and over again. We use 2 decimal places to the right. So she bought some cat food, some toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, yada, yada. So all you're doing is whenever you're at the cash register, all that's happening is those items are adding up, and then the register calculates how much your subtotal is. So it's this plus this plus this plus this equals $25.90. That's how much the sticker price was on all of these items. Well, you're not going to pay $25.90. you are going to set up a proportion because you are going to pay a tax of 6%. So you are looking for the tax on this here. So you're going to cross multiply and you're going to divide by 100 and you end up getting 1.554. Well, we don't talk about money in that sense. The tax is actually $1.55 because this 4 right here is 4 or less, you let it rest. 5 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, add 1 more, 4 or less, let it rest. So now we're going to find out exactly what our total purchase price is. Well, we know we have to pay tax, so that's add. So $25.90 plus $1.55 is going to give me $27.45. And that, my friends, is a little bit about tax, tip, and discount. If you have any questions, let me know. This should help you on your assignment. Have a great day.